So how did this all begin? Well, I was an international student living in Canada, and there was a lockdown put in place, so I couldn't pretty much attend the university. It was just entirely remote. Additionally, I was doing some part-time work as a software engineer. That was remote too. So my day pretty much just looked like couple of hours of remote university work and then a couple of hours of remote part-time software engineering work. So I was pretty much disconnected from all my peers for quite a while. Like when you're not physically there in the campus, you're not interacting with other people, you tend to become more isolated, which I was. Additionally, I did make a few friends here and there. I did network a bit, but what I found was that I am not someone who is really into degenerate activities. Like I don't drink, I don't go clubbing, I don't fornicate, etc., etc. So this kind of made me even more isolated, because this is what most people my age are actually doing. They are seeking instant gratification and they're just hanging out in groups while they seek their doses of instant gratification. That was why I became even more isolated. Now, things were fine and dandy before the 6-month mark. Like, this was the first time I was living away from my family. So no parents, no folks, no sibling, no relatives. And I was in an apartment. I did have roommates, but yeah, we didn't really talk much. They too were introverts. So this was the first time I was like living alone. No one to disturb me, no one to bother me. And truth be told, the first 6 months were pretty good in terms of productivity. Like, I was able to do a lot of deep focused work and not have anyone knock at my door, or not have anyone call me, or not have anyone assign me a chore. I was fairly productive for the first 6 months. But around the 8th month mark, I started feeling a void. Like something was missing. Like something wasn't right. A feeling of emptiness in my heart. And this used to like really flare up each night. Like right after I had finished this really productive day. I had done amazing things. I had done my uni work. I'd performed really well at my internship. I had done a really high intense workout. It was always at night where I used to feel this void in my chest, like there is something missing. Now, keep in mind that during this period of time, I was really into self-improvement. I mean, I still am, but I was much more even back then. And I was watching a lot of Andrew Huberman podcasts, so I really started taking my mental health pretty seriously. Now, when I was feeling this void, I tried every single protocol that there was. I tried taking cold showers, I tried fasting, I tried working out, and I tried a bunch of things. Tried viewing sunlight, but that void never really disappeared, and I could not diagnose it back then. Like, why was this void? Because I was doing everything like to the T perfectly. I was living the ideal life, not involving myself into degenerate activities and taking care of what I eat, what I think, when I sleep, what time do I wake up. Everything was spot on, yet there was a piece missing in the puzzle. And this is when it hit me. I was feeling this way because, well, I was lonely. And human beings are social creatures. No matter how much of an introvert you are, bro, trust me, human beings are social creatures. You require those interactions. You require seeing those familiar faces. You require that touch. You require that banter. You require someone else cracking a joke and you laughing. You require those bonds. And maybe you can get away with not having them for a couple of months, like the way I did. 6 months went smoothly. But after a while, your body is too deprived and it needs those bonds. It's almost like oxygen or food. Eventually, you require that social aspect before your body really gets depleted. And this kind of makes me think that it's not just me. It's not just me that feels this way. I think it's most men. Most men live a very isolated, lonely life. Especially if you're a guy in the West. Due to the declining birth rates, due to the declining rates of marriage, due to the increasing divorce rates. Like, most people in the West do not even have 2 parents living under the same roof, let alone have a sibling. So there's no sense of community. There's no sense of bonds between people. Like, you don't have an uncle, you don't have relatives, you don't have a sibling. Hell, you might not even have another parent. So this leads to something really unfulfilled within you. Like, you don't have a tribe. You don't have a community of people around you that you really like or enjoy their company. So when this happens, when there's no sense of community around you, then society becomes kind of atomized. Like, everyone becomes really individualistic. It's just I, me, myself, and no one else. And to be honest, that is paradoxically a really sad way of existence. Like you become quite sad when you only focus on yourself and not the community. I know it's really paradoxical, but I believe this to be true. And this also leads to you using other coping mechanisms of instant gratification, such as pornography, Netflix, eating fast food, fornicating, degeneracy. All these things come in when you miss that community aspect, that tribe, that brotherhood. When you don't have a significant other, you don't have a partner, you don't have a wife. That's when all these coping agents come in. I'm not gonna lie, man. It was really hard to not seek these things when I was like freaking lonely, like waking up alone, going to bed alone, existing alone. It was hard not to just, watch porn or just eat a bunch of fast food or, I don't know, fornicate. So this was one of the main reasons where I just left Canada, because I couldn't take the isolation. I couldn't take the loneliness anymore. I needed my tribe. I needed my people. So just a week ago, I had relocated back to India, with where I have my folks, where I have my parents, where I have my relatives, where I have my sibling. Yeah, life feels a lot more different here. Life feels pretty good. And I'd always taken all these things for granted. Like, even back when I was a teenager, I never really valued community. I never really valued having a family or having a brotherhood or having my friends. I just didn't value them. I was like, yeah, just leave me alone. Let me be an introvert. Let me work on my stuff. Like, I was really into that grind mode, the monk mode. I don't need people. I don't need company. But it's only after I've been alone for 3 years that I've realized how vital these things are, these bonds, this community. And if you're a man, especially if you're a man in the West, I would highly advise that you seek out some form of brotherhood. You find people who have the same mindset as you, and you really, really build these bonds with them and find something more than just yourself. Well, this is more of a reminder to myself than a lesson to others. Like, I need to really work on my skills of forming brotherhoods, I suppose. So that's it, folks. If you enjoyed the video, then do subscribe. It really helps, and be part of my journey. Thank you. Bye.